No.
Welcome to Moonshot Radio with your host, Dr. Nivea Torres.
Greetings and welcome to Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn. I'm your host, Nivea Torres, Executive Director of the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, also known as KRC. Our vision is that all children in Indian River County will be ready for kindergarten. We proudly partner with the Moonshot Moment, transforming the next generation in Indian River County by having 90% of all students reading on grade level by the third grade. With me today here in the studio is Brooke Flood, School Readiness Coordinator for the School District of Indian River County. Brooke, thank you for joining me.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you.
And I should also say that you are a Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative board member.
I am. Have been for, what are we, three years now?
3 years.
Yes.
Thank
from
you
the very inception.
From the beginning.
Yes, from the very beginning.
Thank you for your leadership and support. Brooke, share with us a little bit about your position as School Readiness Coordinator and your background.
Sure. I have been with the district for 23 years now, believe it or not. I started as a classroom teacher, worked my way up into a literacy coach, and then 4 years ago came into the position of School Readiness Coordinator. So in my position, I oversee the voluntary pre-kindergarten and the pre-K ESE, so our students with exceptional needs who might have some developmental delays, autism spectrum disorder, speech, language, OTPT. We've got a little bit of everything, and we're here to help them all.
Those are a lot of children to serve in the district. Brooke.
Yes, we have a lot.
Brooke, help us understand, what is VPK in Florida? There are a lot of folks who don't understand. So when you say VPK, what does that mean in the state of Florida?
So the VPK program is our voluntary pre-kindergarten program. And as we say, it's voluntary, but we do highly recommend that our families attend in one form or another. It is basically a great jumpstart to your school career. We focus on early literacy, pre-reading, pre-math, communication, social skills, everything that a child's going to need to learn prior to walking into a kindergarten classroom. Because as you know, kindergarten is not the same type of place as it was when I began teaching kindergarten 23 years ago. Very different set of skills that are needed. And being in those pre-K classrooms, our teachers are really getting them ready.
So when you say voluntary, you strongly encourage that parents register their little ones, but they're not mandated to do so, just so that folks are clear.
Yes, it is definitely voluntary. I oversee specifically our school district VPK program. There are many providers throughout our community who offer that voluntary pre-kindergarten experience.
So what does VPK look like in Indian River County, the programs that you directly oversee?
So for me directly, we are located on 6 school campuses. We are at Dodgertown Elementary, Fellsmere Elementary, Glendale Elementary, Indian River Academy, Pelican Island, and Vero Beach Elementary. So we have a total of 16 classrooms, 10 of which are the voluntary pre-kindergarten classrooms, and the other 6 are for our pre-K ESE students.
Wow. And talk to us a little bit about the experience in those classrooms.
Oh my goodness. It is a lively play world. Our students are immersed in all of those early social emotional learning goals and interacting with friends, learning problem solving, learning those early literacy skills, rhyming and letter recognition and letter sounds, early math, those early problem solvings, algebraic thinking, believe it or not. It's just a magical world where our teachers just love to come every day to help our littles, as we affectionately call them with the district, to help them be prepared as they move forward into kindergarten and beyond.
You mentioned earlier that, we certainly recognize that the kindergarten experience is not similar to our own kindergarten experience, or if we taught kindergarten, it's not the same way. So how would you describe that to a parent so that they understand that there's a significant difference between our previous understanding of kindergarten and how we're getting these youngsters ready for that.
Yes. So what we're experiencing now in our pre-kindergarten is what kindergarten was years ago, that play-based learning, the exploratory learning. When we get into kindergarten, as you know, there are the high-stakes testing that comes when they get to third grade. Teachers are using data to establish learning paths for their children to better prepare them for those later years. And kindergarten is a little bit more structured and routine-based. So in our pre-K world, we're still utilizing those and helping the children understand how to fall into those routines, into the structures, so that when they do get to kindergarten, they have those skills ready to go. Those pre-reading, pre-literacy, pre-math, science, very exploratory for us as they move into more of a direct instructional approach in kindergarten.
And so let's talk a little bit about the time frame, because you're talking about routines and the structure. How long is the day for these little ones that are in VPK? And is that similar to other programs that might be here in Indian River County? Right.
So for us in the district, we have the honor of providing a full school day to our families, which is currently free. The voluntary pre-kindergarten program for this school year is 540 hours. So through other ways, we're able to extend that for our children, whereas if they were in the private sector, they may only have a certain part of their day that's designated the voluntary pre-K program.
Okay.
So ours is a full school day, full school year for our families.
Okay, and it's important for parents to understand that, because there are other options within the county, but the district is able to provide that full day experience.
Yes.
And because you oversee these programs, I'm just thinking about my previous experience as an elementary school principal. What would a traditional day for a little one in a VPK classroom look like? What is the start time? What is the end time? And what happens in between?
So for us in the district specifically, our day begins around 8:30, 8:45. They come in, they have morning meeting, they're connecting with their friends, singing songs that are related to the alphabet or maybe to some numbers, some rhyming. Then they move into a whole group type of activity, the calendar. What's the weather like today? Then there's usually a specials area where they go out into the school. They may go to PE, music, art, library, computers. Many of our schools have been very receptive to allowing our students to have that opportunity to feel what it's going to feel like when they get to kindergarten. Then they might have some small group workstations with the teacher assistant, some free center play, recess, of course, lunch. Pre-K is exhausting, so we do have a little rest time. And then next thing you know, it's the end of the day and we might have another small group or another whole group, lots of singing, dancing, movement, crossing that midline, which is so good for the brain development. So it's active. We're moving all day long.
And I'm so glad you described that day, because I think it's important for parents, for grandparents, for caretakers to understand all that it involves, a full VPK experience. So Brooke, in your experience, because again, this is voluntary, let's think about those children who attended VPK versus those who didn't attend VPK. What can you share in terms of your experience and observations?
So for our littles, we do find that when they do get to a classroom, whether they've been with us or maybe in a preschool program out in the community, they are used to those routines and structures, whereas a child who might be at home may not be comfortable with a transition from one activity to the other, where when you're in a classroom setting, that's part of your day, and you learn how to react in those moments, and your teacher's helping you by reminding you, we're going to move on to this activity, or we've had enough with this one, now it's time for this, and the sharing and all. So it's really to see them in kindergarten and then in first grade and to be so ready and to have that social set ready to go makes such a difference. Many of our kindergarten teachers complement our VPK programs on that social side by them being ready for the routines, the structures, the day-to-day life of a classroom. So that's huge for us, huge.
And we've talked so much about that social emotional piece to be actually ready for kindergarten, and VPK certainly sets the foundation for that.
Yes, the problem solving, being able to work through something with a friend who might have your toy that you want to play with, or I don't really want to go to this center today, but it's the only one that's open. And how do I handle the stress of that? And connecting with our school family. Our classrooms work hard every day to create that school family relationship so that there's that trust and commitment to one another each day to keep each other safe and to help each other build and grow.
Brooke, and I'm also thinking not only of the child, but also of the parents. It's also a good way to address those separation issues and anxiety, right?
Yes.
That mommy, daddy, that grandparents might have. What do you think?
Absolutely. I tell the mommies and daddies all the time, it's harder on you than it is on your little. And they definitely agree. By the second or third day, it's leaving mommy in the hallway and they've already gone into the classroom to begin their routine of signing in and getting their place ready on the carpet or doing a table time activity. Yeah, it's definitely the routines really helps to make that kindergarten transition so much easier.
And that's what we want.
Yes.
A seamless, positive experience for all the little ones.
Yes, absolutely.
We're going to take a break to hear from our sponsors, and we will be right back.
At the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, our vision is for every parent, regardless of income or zip code, to have the knowledge and tools they need to raise healthy children that are prepared for kindergarten. Our mission is to support our partners in developing a high-quality early childhood system that is family-centered. Our outreach and parent engagement specialists connect with families and build trusted relationships. KRC has chosen Fellsmere and Gifford as our two focus areas in Indian River County. Our Fellsmere office is located downtown in the city annex, and our New Gifford office is located within Victory Park Apartments. Our administrative offices are now located adjacent to Healthy Start and Treasure Coast Community Health in Vero Beach. The Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, developing a high-quality early childhood system for all children in Indian River County.
For more than 160 years, PNC has been committed to providing their clients with great service and powerful financial expertise to help them meet their financial goals. The PNC Foundation, which receives its principal funding from the PNC Financial Services Group, actively supports organizations that provide services for the benefit of communities in which it has significant presence. The foundation focuses its philanthropic mission on early childhood education and community and economic development, which includes arts and culture. Through Grow Up Great, its signature cause that began in 2004, PNC has created a bilingual $350 million multi-year initiative to help prepare children from birth to age 5 for success in school and life. For more information, go to pncgrowupgreat.com.
If you have been considering cataract surgery, it's time to explore dropless cataract surgery at New Vision Eye Center. With this procedure, there is no need to use eye drops in the days and weeks following your surgery. For many patients, this option is liberating. Consult with Doctors Paul Minotti and Stephen Tate. You will always benefit from the latest technology at New Vision Eye Center. Call New Vision Eye Center for a consultation or second opinion. Your eyesight deserves world-class eye care. Visit newvisioneyecenter.com or call 772-257-8700.
Food is an art at the Pomodoro Grill. La Cucina is a find of deliciously treasured recipes, rarely written down, but instead passed down from one generation to the next. Delicious seafood, chicken, veal, and pasta dishes. All entrees come with fresh-baked, house-made garlic knots and crisp green mixed salad. Brick oven pizza, too. Also, Pomodoro Grill serves the traditional plates like meat lasagna, parmigiana, and more. Pomodoro Grill, VeroBeach.com on Cardinal Drive.
We'll wash away the dirt and grime. Don't you know it's Tubby time? Trimmed and fresh, their coat will shine. All aboard, it's Tubby time! For professional, compassionate dog grooming, located just outside your front door, call Tubby Time Mobile Grooming at 772-913-1177. With Tubby Time, there's no driving to do, 'cause we come to you. All aboard, it's Tubby time!
are back to Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn. I'm your host, Nivea Torres, Executive Director of KARC. With me today here in the studio is Brooke Flood, School Readiness Coordinator for the School District of Indian River County. Brooke, we're learning so much about voluntary VPK, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing the experience and the need to get parents involved in VPK. So right before the break, you were sharing with us sort of like the full scope. What does a day in VPK look like?
Yes.
And it's quite active.
Very active. Yes. It's quite a shock for many of our littles. Yes.
Right? You're keeping them very engaged.
We keep them engaged.
Very involved. And those examples are good for parents to hear, because there are a lot of things that they can also support at home in terms of the structure and the routines that you talked about.
Yep.
So VPK is definitely a good foundation for little ones. How does that correlate to third grade success, attendance in VPK?
Absolutely. So as many may or may not know, attendance starting off very early has a huge impact on later success. Our 0 to 5, our early years, are our learning years. The brain activity and everything that your brain absorbs and what a child's able to understand and comprehend just builds and builds and grows and grows and grows. And when they miss school, that then stops those synapses, and then they fall a little bit behind. And then they get into kindergarten, and because those habits have been formed early, then we start to see those chronic absences as they get older. But the great thing is once a child begins to be back in school regularly, those academics pick up as well. And we do see that. I've seen many families who, for whatever reason, struggled with their routine in the pre-K. Maybe they were here hit or miss every Monday to Tuesday, Monday to Thursday. They missed a Friday. Oh, and then we'll miss another Monday, things of that sort. By the time they got to K and they were going and feeling successful, then everything started to fall back into place.
And they're ready.
It's amazing. They are ready. So while we've definitely encouraged that in the attendance in the early ages, because it does have that correlation. If for whatever reason, families go through a lot of trauma these days, and if you find that your little one is missing school, know that when you do get them back into that pattern of school, all of that will come right back. They are sponges, and it's tucked away in there. Yes. We just have to find that outlet to get it back out.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
Brooke, it just strikes me, what about if there's a little one that, because of medical or health reasons, is losing school? Have you experienced this, and how do you deal with that family?
We do. We see a lot of our families that are currently in the VPK program that are going through some trauma, and we do our best to filter them out to the proper healthcare agencies or different places that they can access to get services. If a family has concerns for speech, language, maybe the little isn't meeting their developmental milestones starting as early as age 3, they can give our office a call, and our amazing Ellen will do an intake for them, get some basic demographic information, and invite the family in for a screening. We'll do a speech, language, and possibly a developmental screen. And if the child is successful, wonderful. We are so happy when that happens. But sometimes if we find that we need a little bit more testing, we'll do a developmental test. We'll do some official speech language evaluation. And if we find that the child needs services, whether it's some type of eligibility, speech language, developmental autism, we call that varying exceptionalities, OT, PT, then they might meet eligibility to join us in some of our other classrooms on our campuses that are developed specifically for those needs, and have teachers who are trained to help them catch up.
And parents should be reassured that this is a positive thing, because you're working on these issues very early on. It's early intervention. You're addressing. It's a partnership with the family. So don't be scared. Don't be afraid if you hear about this, if someone, if a professional is having this conversation with you, because it's a good thing. We're helping the little one early on, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That early intervention is key. Many of our little ones who might start with us at 3 years old, and depending on when they turn 3, some of them are with us for 3 full years. And by the time they get to the VPK inclusion age, you see they look like a typical pre-Ker and then go on into a general ed type setting for kindergarten. So it's definitely worth a parent's phone call to us, either way. Yay, everything is great. You didn't have to worry. Or, oh, we got a little stumbling block, but guess what? We can help them out along the way.
So you see that growth.
Oh my gosh, do we see the growth?
The evolution of the little one.
I love going into my classrooms. As I said, we're on 6 different school sites. We also have therapists on different satellite campuses across the district. And I go into my classrooms, it feels like every day, and just see the monumental growth, not just from our 3 to 5-year-olds who may have the delays, but the VPK as well. And just from the beginning of the year to the end, I honestly can't even describe the feeling that it is to see that, the impact that our teachers and our families are having on our littles and the community. That
must be so rewarding to see that, because that's why we're all doing this good work.
We're here. Yes.
Brooke, so we're talking about growth. How do you share that growth with parents? Is there a screening or an assessment that you use, that your teachers use?
Yes.
To indicate that there's been growth in VPK.
Yes. So for the voluntary pre-kindergarten program, we have it's actually called the Voluntary Pre-Kindergarten Assessment.
Okay.
It is given 3 times a year as mandated. You hate to use that big word, but mandated by the state. Gives us some great information in print knowledge, phonological awareness, math, and oral language and vocabulary. So those scores are shared with the families 3 times a year. We have our conferences in September, then we have conferences in January, and then at the end of the year. And so the children are assessed on that 3 times. Plus, we've also, in the district, taken our 4-year-old to kindergarten standards, and we've created a standards-based reporting system, a report card per se, for our families to be able to see where their littles are based on the standards that our 4-year-olds are to be working on. So they'll be able to see all of the growth and progress over the 3 times. We meet specifically during the conference so that the family can talk to the teacher and have that interaction and be able to understand, what do I need to do? What is my little one really good at? What can they use a little bit of help with? So it's been phenomenal. We've gotten great feedback from our families based on that.
And if families are not aware of the standards-based reporting, I can say that's very impressive that you have that at VPK, and that it aligns with the standards and the curriculum, because it really makes sense. It tells you exactly where the little one is now.
Yes. And we have a very easy scale, meeting the standard, developing in the standard, or have a limited use of or understanding of the standard.
Perfect.
Yes.
Brooke, share with us, there's a lot of good information, getting little ones registered for kindergarten. Where can folks get that information? Numbers to call, website?
Absolutely. You can check us out on our website. We are located on the district website, indianriverschools.org/VPK. It shows how to apply, when to apply, summer VPK versus school year VPK. Registration opens in January if you're interested in our program.
Perfect.
Yes.
And folks, you mentioned earlier there's someone in your office that they can call.
Yes, they can call Miss Ellen. Yes, give Miss Ellen a call if you have concerns about your little. It's 772-564-4166.
Excellent. Brooke, there's a lot of good information at VPK. Thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure.
And until next time, this has been Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn.